Right, some of you might remember on the previous builds that I was working on, I'll just get the old chassis to show you what I mean. Hang on. On the original designs that I was making, we had, well, this doesn't fit in here because it's a different one, but I had exit coils on the ends, on the other sides of the generator coils. If you remember rightly, we had the exit coils, but because of the way the original coils were mounted, hang on a sec. Because of the way the original coils were mounted, they were mounted either directly above or directly on the sides, at the front and the back, and because of that, the timing was such that I could only really use one pair of exit coils for the, think about it as an after pulse to the, as the rotor's moving out of the generator coil. There's a pulse from the exit coil which goes through the circuit. Now the original circuit, what was it? I can't find it. Right. There's the original prototype one was that one, which was just two LEDs. If you remember rightly, there was just two LEDs. We had a circuit, a coil on the circuit board itself, and then I moved on to this one, which was the one with the toroidal coil on it, right? And had a series of toroidal coils on, and we had a single. We just had one triac on here, so there was just one triac. Because of that, because of this board, I was only able to drive one pair of exit coils. So we actually gained speed when I would tune this on this circuit, and I always had the intention of adding more exit coils when I eventually built a bigger circuit board. And this is the circuit board, actually the new circuit board, which is currently just going into these dump caps, really, because I thought, well, let's just try it with the generator coils, so that when one phase is offset and delayed, it goes through to the next coil, toroidal coil, and then it goes through to the next toroidal coil. But the one thing that was missing from this circuit was the exit coils, because I didn't have them on there. And the reason I didn't have them on there was simply because I wanted to try it in this configuration before we moved on. So I have a stack of exit coils. I made loads of these things. There's loads of them already here. Look. I've got a whole bunch of them stuck on there, and they're all pretty much the same anyway. So the idea now, the next phase, which I kind of forgot about because I've been so distracted with everything else going on, what with the pitch packing up and what with other things going on around here, I kind of, forgot about it. I got so absorbed in this configuration, I kind of got distracted. So anyway, let's unplug this a minute, because I want to show you what the game plan is. So unplug these, take this board off. Oops. Right, so what we have here are new exit coil holders, and they actually fit perfectly. I set the generator coils, I set them up at the right spacing, for optimum operation in conjunction with each generator set of coils. So we have these two coils, which are the first phase, then the second phase comes into play, then the third phase, and then the fourth phase. And now there's a little gap in between these. I thought, well, I really want to use my exit coils, but can I get them in here? The answer is yes. This is a new exit coil holder that I made, and I redesigned it to have these little clips in the side. They've got hollow clips, so I can just literally squeeze them right in between my generator coils like this, and they fit perfectly. Oops, I moved my other coil now. I'm going to move that back a bit. So they're perfect. They fit perfectly in the in this configuration. So that means that we can start to use the exit coils, and because the new circuit board has got actually there's 8 triacs on here now, and it's full phase. I mean, instead of being half phase, which is what the original one was, the original board that I just showed you only had 1 triac on it, and these have 2 triacs per each channel. But that's fine. It means that I can still use my exit coils where these capacitors are. So if I unplug these capacitors, I will have to operate these little switches on the board, right? So I'll have to turn these switches off by switching them, and then instead of going through this toward through to the next stage, it will go instead to an exit coil. So I'll just plug it into there where the capacitors are plugged in right now. So that will be even better than what I was talking about, which was inductances. It changes these inductors to bigger inductors. That's probably no longer required if I put the exit coils on here, because we were able to trigger these with the actual exit coils, because they also receive a pulse. So I'll be back triggering these triacs. So anyway, I made some more of these clips. I'm just printing another set right now, another pair. I need another 4 of these, and they're going to go, because I've got one set here for this, which follow these 2 generator coils. I need another 2 of these exit coils. They're going to be in series, so they're wired in series. There's going to be another set following these 2 coils, then another 2 that follow these 2 coils, and another 2 that follow these 2 coils. So it's a bit of a squeeze actually right now, because all this is still wired in. So I'm just going to try and shift this up a bit without breaking wires off, because eventually the exit coils will just drop into these. They'll literally just drop into these. Let me just go and get one, I'll show you. So I get the exit coil, and it will literally just push in like that. These holders are just to keep it straight, so I can actually pull the coil out while it's this. I'll leave the holder in place because so it makes it easier to put them in. So I need to get this one in between there and there. Let's see if it goes in alright without ripping all my wires. So I might as well install them, because it also helps me to space the coils out as well, because the spacing is just right. Oh, there we go. Oh, I've broken it. I think I cracked that one. Ah! Oh, just a minute. I pushed it a bit too hard. I think I'm going to have to super glue that one. Ah, this is what happens when you're live. It always happens when you're live, doesn't it? It's because my wires are all tangled up and everything. Let's get it out of here a minute. It's because this is a tight fit as well. But they are clipping, so I might have to unsolder this board actually to get it access to it more evenly. I'm just trying to get this damn thing out now. Get out of the way. Come out, wherever you are. I'm actually printing, these are actually a bit smaller than the other. Ooh, that's popped off now. Everything's going wrong. There we go, got you. Right, that was come off now, so I have to stick that. Yeah, I've got to crack my things. I'll super glue those lugs back on because they're still a bit soft, so yeah, I'm just gonna put a bit of super glue down that crack where I split them. They're still hanging on by a thread. Right, that should work. Super glue will soon stick those on. The little ears that I put on there. So I went and forced it a little bit too hard and it just cracked. Anyway, I've just printed these damn things as well. I don't want to break them already. Let's find a cotton bud. It's got a bit too much super glue down there. Well, I better not put that in now because with that super glue on it, because it'll stick to the thing. I'll never get it out. So I'll use the other one while that one dries. So if I can do it a bit more gently. It's clip-on, you see, clips in, and I just had a bit too much force on it when I pushed it. Come on, don't you break on me as well. I've got these ears a little bit too. There's some. If you look at the side view, there's some ears that just below the lugs. Oops, stick at the top. There's some little ears that sit underneath this lip, and they're a little bit too pronounced. I need to, actually I could file them down, I suppose. Yeah, let's try that. Let's just file it down a bit, because what I have this problem of it jumping too much on me. Yeah, just smooth it out a bit. Only wants a little bit taking off. There we go, that's perfect. Just want to file it a bit. Now that one sits perfectly at a certain angle, and there's a small amount of adjustment if you look. So when I move that, I can move it a bit down, I can move it a bit up for adjustment, and that's something we never had on the original generator project where I had the exit coils. We never had this fine adjustment which I can move a few millimeters, because that's all it's required really, is a few millimeters of tuning, and that's what I've got there, because these are basically angled so that the directly after that coil the rotor magnets have just left it, and because the magnets are so wide over a wide area, because these magnets are actually over a wide area between my fingernail there and my fingernail there, as it's leaving this coil it's still engaged with that coil, as the top dead centre of the magnet will just pass under this coil here. So we should, but while the field is still exiting this coil, the field should just be over top dead centre of the exit coil, so we should be able to time it just right and that's what I'm hoping for. So let me just check to make sure I haven't moved that. Oh, I have moved that one a bit. It wants to be a bit up here actually. I don't know why, it's because this one's putting pressure on the, yeah, this one needs a bit higher. So that coil, this one here, this particular one, there isn't really much adjustment at all actually, but that's fine. Actually this one wants to come down a bit. So they're all the same. So that spacing of that exit coil holder will also give me the perfect alignment of all my coils anyway. So there isn't really much of adjustment, but it's fine because it's bang where it needs to be, which is directly after the exit coil as it leaves. So that one's in. I'm just going to file this one a little bit. I've super glued it, and I need some cotton wool to make sure there isn't any super glue left on there. I think I've got it all off. It's dried anyway. I'm just going to file that one as well. Just moves it out a bit so it goes in a bit easier. Once I've got these all fitted, my coils should be spaced exactly right. I'm going to test it as well when they're all in, before I put the exit coils in actually, because I need to make sure the timing is still good the way it was. I had to thin these out on SketchUp, so I had to remodel these because the original ones of the exit coil holders were really chunky. Not like this. This is the original one. They were a lot fatter. Look, endwise, they were a lot thinner, these new ones. So I can get them in better. I couldn't get these in because they were too fat. But the new ones are just right. These don't need to be strong, they just need to hold the coil in the right position. Right, let's see if I can get this one in here without ripping my wires. Should go in alright. This one looks a bit loose on this side actually. I actually tapered these as well, so the bottoms, they've got a little taper in the corners, makes it a lot easier for me to put them in. Let's put that wire over the top. Could take out unsole my wires, but I'm trying to avoid that if I can. This one should go in alright. I don't want to break the lugs off again, so I'm going to use a bit of reinforcement on my fingers so I don't break them. There we go. It's in. So that's it. Once these are in position, I can leave these holders in place because I can just slide the coils in when I'm ready. Obviously the ones that are underneath this board are going to be fiddly. I'm going to have to reroute some wires in there. They're not really adjustable when these coils are actually in the right place though, because it pretty much fills the gap, but that's okay. If that one's loose I need to pack it up because this one keeps moving keeps sliding out of position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bit of plastic, I'll cut a bit off it. I'm just going to wedge that round the side. Hopefully that will stop it from sliding out of position. Right, that's a bit better. Yeah, some of them are, I think I'll put a bit more in on the other side. I don't want to be gluing them. It's just friction fit. see if I can get that underneath. Alright, that's gone up. That should hold that one in place. That one must be a bit lower. Right, I think we've got it. So they're perfect in alignment, they're dead straight as well. I've got those two there, got those two there, and the actually, let's see, is there any more to go in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got the ones that I'm doing at the front are going to be easy to get to, so I won't need to. Let me just check, make sure I haven't bumped any wires off. That's what often happens. Those are all connected. This needs to stick this back down with blue tack. I can't get the blue tack off here. Right. So eventually I should be able to just drop the coils in there without any problem and drop them in there. Because basically, let me just go and grab a set. Hang on. So, where are we? So I find a couple that are still wired up. Don't know where. The others all hooked up to my other board. Just a minute. What a mess. Yeah, I've got this other board and they're all hooked up on this breadboard and it's just the right mess. See if I can get these off here. Actually, I'll just pull them wires out. You can't see what I'm doing, I know. I'm just tacking a pair of trigger coils, or exit coils, out there. It's off the breadboard. I was doing some testing previously. That's obsolete, that board is now. Right, so, oh damn it, I've ripped off one of my copper tracks. Oh, I hope I can stick it back on. And my copper tracks is ripped off. Actually I'm going to super glue. I'm going to try I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to super glue that and I'm going to stick it in the vise for a minute or two. Give me a second, otherwise it can snap the wires off. Give me a minute or two. I don't know if I can do it on my bench or take the core out. Once that double-sided, once that stickiness goes, that's it. Right, I've got super glue on that. If I can just place that on there and get some steel ruler will work. Come on, get on. It's soldered, the solder's bending. Right, stick that on there, hold that for 10 seconds. Go around here. Press down. I think it's going to be good once this super glue dries. I just don't want to rip my wires out of the coil, that's all. I want to be able to use these because they're already wired up ready. They don't have a ground jumper wire on them, but I can soon sort that out. Right, I think that's stuck. So because they're in series, there's a wire jumper goes between the other end to there, which I just want to show you though how. I think that's stuck in there. I'll take these core materials out. Come out. Right, so we literally just drop them in to these coil holders like so. Like that. That's it. When I install them, I'll just have the wires ready on, or just slide them into these holders, and that's basically all I need to do. And there's going to be let's see, there's going to be 8 of these instead of the 2 that we normally have. There's going to be 8. So I suppose I'll put these aside because the glue has to dry. I'm sticking the cork material back in so it doesn't get lost or broken or stepped on or whatever. I also need to order some more of these little ferrite things. That's going to be a few weeks away as well, so don't expect it to be overnight, because I'm just doing this, taking my time doing it. I'm just explaining now what the next step is and where we're going to be at, sort of thing. I wanted to get these coil holders fitted first, because once they're in, it also helps to space out everything else. It helps everything else stop moving around as well. This coil here that kept slipping down, once you get the exit coil holders mounted underneath here, this shouldn't slip down anymore either. It should be a lot tighter then. So I'm just going to stick this out of the way for now. So what I'll probably end up doing though is I'm probably going to try testing it with 2 pairs of exit coils. I'll probably try it with 2 pairs, because you don't want to jump in to the deep end all at once, really, do you? It's best just to do it in steps, you know, so that I don't get overcomplicated. So keep it simple. Get one circuit tuned up, working, and then introduce the second set of trigger coils, exit coils, get that circuit tuned up, then introduce the third set, and so on, because that way you know what's going on and you don't over complicate things, because you can get into a situation where you mess something up and you don't know what you've messed up, and you know what I mean. Where's my blue tack gone? Oh yeah, there it is. I was just going to stick this thing back down, wasn't I? I can't get the blue tack underneath here. It just stops it sliding around. Right, that's stuck on. So it doesn't bounce around and rattle and things like that. Making sure I'm pulling my wires off. I need to keep these wires in the middle. Actually, I'll put them right in between so that I don't get them in the way. Actually, it might be a good idea to put a little bit of blue tack there to hold these wires so they don't get snared and caught on something. I love blue tack, it's my best friend. It makes life easy when you can just hold things in place non-permanently, and then you can easily get them out again later. Right, so I went and knocked this and I got this loose, so I need to stick this back on here. I actually super glued that as well, and it's still come apart. I think I need to stick that back on again. A bit of super glue. It just sticking the ferrite to the ferrite basically. And it doesn't stick very well, which is why it comes apart. It's just to stop it vibrating, because I couldn't get this thing on to that's it, it's on now, it's stuck, so it won't vibrate. I used to use some plastic things that go in the middle, but I'm no longer using those actually with this, so I've got no plastic slugs to hold them in place. But I could make some more, I suppose, but the rest of them are fine. It's just that one's been awkward. It's something to do with the alignment on that bobbin holder. Anyway, that's not coming off now, so I thought I'd leave this all off while I get all 8 new exit coil holders installed, because once they're installed they can stay in there, because yeah, it just makes it life easy when you can just pull your coils out. These need to be raised up a bit more. Oop, that was too much. See, it tells me when I've gone too far. Should be right up to the lip. I need a torch actually. Come on. Yeah, that's right up to the lip. That's right up to the lip. That one is. That one is. That's bang on. Those are trigger coils for the motor that moves it, so those can stop there. The ones that go, the holders that go below there, there's plenty of room there. I don't want them to slide out of position anyway. So anyway, I think that's it. You've seen what I've explained what I'm doing. My new lamination arrays, I was talking previously about stacking them. I was thinking about doing that. Then I kind of thought to myself, hang on a minute, what about my exit coils? I haven't even bothered putting those in yet. I'm thinking, well, maybe I don't need to, because if I start stacking my lamination arrays, what's going to happen is it's going to reduce the flux that gets to the coil. It might reduce the drag a little bit more, but not half as much as what it did when I had my exit coils in place on the original build. So that's what I need to do, is just put the exit coils in, use the new lamination arrays that I put in there, and take it from there. See where we go from there, really, because that's because I say I'm getting a bit old and my memory fails me sometimes. I just forget things, and sometimes but when you make some positive gains with something, it's very important not to forget it, because you've got to keep all your positive assets together, you know. Every little gain is a benefit, and it should be put in your red book or as a note to self, that if you can incorporate that into the design, do it, because if it's a gain, then as long as it doesn't interfere with other things to make it a negative, then it should be another plus. That's the way I think anyway. I always think about gains that are beneficial to a design, and try to incorporate them if they're a benefit. But if it becomes a little bit negative, then maybe you should avoid using it. If it's detrimental to the operation, or if it causes safety concerns, or power consumption starts to go up or something like that, then it's probably not something you should use, because the whole point is to minimize consumption and maximize output. That's the whole point of what we're doing with this thing. And it is getting a little bit condensed now. It is getting very compact, condensed, and I mean we're getting so much in here now. There's not much room for anything, if you know what I mean. But that's all good, and it's all fun. So yeah, I'm going to put this back on once I've got all these things fitted. Because once I've got this on, I can easily lift this up, you see, and pop my exit coils in underneath this. Was, you know, just pop this back on again when it's done, and just wire it out. But it's going to be a bit messy though, because it means that instead of having just these wires, I'm going to have wires from these coils as well. So I'm going to have to, yeah, get some different coloured wiring as well, so that I can see which wires are which, because red and black wires all the time is a bit confusing. So I'm going to pop up and see somebody in probably next week, a local shop, to see about buying some different coloured wiring, because I did have some pink and white wire, but I think I've used it all. Actually there might be a bit left, I don't know, let me just see. Oh, there's a bit left. Oh, but I don't think I've got enough. I've got a bit of this. I don't use telephone wire because it's magnetic. I have this this white and pink wire. I could use some of that. I don't know if there's enough there to do it, but I like it because it's not magnetic like that Chinese stuff. So, yeah. But we're getting there, and it's going to get really exciting when I get all these these exit coils wired in. We're going to have some fun with that. Because if you watch the previous videos, when I had the exit coil on the original build, which was a 4-quadrant system, it worked very well. Let's see. Right, here's another chassis of a previous one. This is another chassis from a previous one which I used for a little while, and we had our coils that went in the side. Instead of mounting them on the top, and these are adjustable, I can move them around, but these weren't adjustable, these were fixed. So yeah, this is another chassis. I've made that many chassis now. So we'd have the exit coils, which were basically mounted next to the generator coils, and yeah, this one's only partially. Hang on a minute. I don't even remember watching this one. This is another one with the motor driver on it. We've got the drum in it. This is another one I did. It's magnetically coupled. It's held together with magnets. This was I think I only run this a short period of time. This one, and it's got magnets to hold the two halves together. This was this didn't have the exit coils on it though. But this was before I did the one with the exit coils. So as you can see, it's not room for the exit coils on this thing. It's still got its rubber feet. So anyway, I don't know, I've got to put this stuff away, otherwise I'll be swamped in stuff. Anyway, I've shown you what the plan of action is, and we've come a long way from all that stuff, haven't we? All that primitive, earlier prototype stuff. We've come a long way since those earlier ones. To have the rotary coils that you can move around, and now I've got the 4-channel drive system. So once I get that on, connect all this new coil system connected, get it all this wired back up again, we're going to have fun. Yeah, I can't wait really, but we have to wait because money's short right now, and I've just had to buy a new fridge freezer because my other fridge died on me. At the moment I just have to buy bits so much each week, so next week, if I've got the money, I'm gonna see about if I can get some more of them ferrite cores that go in these exit cores, these little transformers. I need these thin ferrite cores. I haven't got many left. They're not cheap, they're not expensive. I mean, they're not cheap, they're expensive. I could make some out of some of that steel stuff like I did in these, which have got steel lining around. I don't know if I can push this out actually, because they get stuck. That one's coming out. So I wrapped steel metal around there to make a core, but it's not very efficient. I really need the ferrites, and I've got to get some more of those because I haven't got enough ferrites to populate 8 coils. I've only got enough to populate maybe 4 coils. That's why, and those things are not cheap. They're like, I think it's like £6 for 10 or something, or is it 5? I can't remember now. Anyway, it was a couple of years back, 3 years ago, when I bought them, the original ones. So I mean, they've probably gone up in price since then, because everything's gone up in price, hasn't it, lately? So somebody messaged me on Facebook, or I don't know if it was on YouTube. I'll check it in a minute. I suppose I better look now, because usually comments are disabled on replay, so I'm not sure how to turn that on, to be honest with you, so I better go and have a look. I better check that now, because once the stream ends, the comments disappear on me and I can't read them. Oh, actually it might be on my... Oh, it was my daughter. It was just my daughter that was messaging me, so that's okay. Anyway, we're going to have some more fun in a few weeks' time, so keep checking in. I suppose I can end the stream now. Let me just check YouTube anyway. Usually I can read a comment, it comes in my email box, but I can't reply once I've shut the stream down. Right. Right, let's just check this a minute. No, nobody's talking to me, that's fine. Shut the stream down. Oops. Right, so we'll be back later when we get all this sorted out and get the new exit coils put in. Well, I don't call them an exit coil, but it's because when the generator coil is just coming to, when the waveform is just starting to collapse, as it's collapsing, that is the sticky point. That's the point where it normally drags on the rotor and slows it down. The exit coil basically sends a pulse, a sudden pulse at the rotor magnet drum and negates that drag so that it doesn't slow down as much, and that's why I call it the exit coil, because it's basically on the exiting waveform. It actually happens just at that moment when the waveform is the fall time of the waveform as it's dropping off. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.